What's up, everybody? It's Johnny, and this is the crazy story of how I completely changed the trajectory of my life in just 90 days. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Johnny Zimski. I'm founder of Lion's Tail Personal Transformation Coaching. And this is my crazy story of how I actually did change the trajectory of my life in just 90 days. And once I did that, once I saw what was possible on the other side of true self-confidence, what's possible for everyone out there, I had to tell as many people as possible because it is literally life-changing. So let's jump in. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, founder of Lion's Tail. I'm a personal transformation coach. I was also a collegiate hammer thrower. I used to work in the music industry and happened to get a gold record out of that with one of the records I worked on during my time, actually a couple. And I'm also a recovered nice guy. So anybody that knows that term from the book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, then you know what that means. For those that don't, it essentially means that I grew up as a people pleaser with no self-confidence, no self-esteem, always settling, always going after other people's dreams instead of my own, never saying no when I didn't want to do something, never standing up for myself, and completely changed all of that and changed the course of my life for good, which is just nuts. And just to be completely transparent, this is a long video for me, so I'm going to be looking at notes from time to time. So you see me reading off the screen. So big thing is, man, as a kid, I grew up super socially awkward. So I was an only child, no siblings. I was introverted and socially awkward in most situations, and also I grew up without a dad. So I grew up with just my mom, essentially. I had a couple cousins that didn't live with me, lived in different cities, and they were all single children as well. So I grew up really thinking I was like completely different from other kids growing up. I didn't know how to be, didn't know how to act, always thought I was weird, and growing up without a father, I didn't have a masculine presence to show me how to be a man, how to blend both that masculine strong side with my loving side that I got from my mother and put those together. So I grew up with a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-worth issues, and hid myself from everybody around me for a long, long time, like until I was 41 years old, which is a crazy amount of time. I settled for everything in my life. You know, I settled for a career. You know, I started over from the bottom over and over and over. Like I said, it was in the music industry, and I started as an intern, and I left as the chief engineer for one of the biggest studios in the Pacific Northwest, and got to work with some of the bands that I idolized as a kid, which was just nuts, and I even got a gold record out of it. And then I got into different industries after that, and I kept starting from the bottom because I had no self-worth. I didn't think I could start at a position that was higher up because I didn't think I was good enough. And I continually had to work my way up from the bottom up to the top. And I got to say, it was exhausting. So I settled in every part of my life, in career, in relationships, in my dreams. I always thought that those dreams are for other people, not me. That's not me. I'm not good enough. And that was kind of the theme of my life growing up and all the way, you know, through being an adult. The other big thing is, I watched my life from the sidelines. I was never the main character of my story. I don't know if any of you guys feel this way, but I always felt like other people were the star and I was the support character, even in my own life, which is crazy. It's crazy to think about now, but it felt so familiar back then. I don't know if you can resonate with that. But that was me growing up. Super awkward, super introverted, didn't think I'd ever fit in, always scared to say what was really on my mind because I thought everybody would think I was weird. So I masked myself and became 16 different people depending on who I was talked to. And it really stole all my energy from me and didn't let me go after who I wanted to be, my dreams, who I wanted to be, the man I wanted to become. And I did that for a long, long time. And to be honest, I knew I wanted more. Even though I felt like that, I knew I wanted more out of life. You know, I didn't want the career I was in. I wanted my dream career. I wanted to do what really gave me passion, which is helping other men specifically, helping other men grow and become the man they've always wanted to be. I wanted my dream woman. I didn't want to settle for whatever woman approached me, which is what I did for my entire life. I wanted to go after the one that I wanted, like the woman off my vision board, like super sexy, super sweet, kind, loving, fun, adventurous. I wasn't going to settle for one of those. I wanted all of them. I wanted to be my dream self. I wanted to do all those things that I, to be honest, used to hate other people for. When I'd see a really confident guy, or I'd, you know, be at a bar or maybe a club in Vegas or something like that, and I'd see these guys just having the best time, free, just doing whatever they wanted to, not worrying about anything around them. I used to be a hater for those kinds of people, and I would always sit on the sidelines and say, oh yeah, I don't want to be like that guy. I'm much better where I'm at here. When secretly I was just jealous the whole time because I was scared to shine. I was scared to be seen because I didn't want anybody to see who I really was because I didn't think I was good enough for it. And I wanted my dream life as well. Like for me, my big thing is I hate winter. I can't stand it. I'm from the desert, moved up into the mountains. My daughter loved it there. We stayed there, but every winter I just hated it, and I couldn't stand it. And I didn't like the location, didn't like what I was doing for a living, and didn't like the hobbies and all that stuff. And I wanted my dream life. I wanted the life off of my vision board. I didn't want to settle for where I was. I just wasn't happy. And so there was a big problem with that, is that I didn't know how to get it. I mean, I didn't think I was good enough, so I didn't think I was worth it, and I didn't know how to get farther. I couldn't figure out what I kept doing wrong that wasn't giving me any real results. No matter what pay increase I got, I was still living paycheck to paycheck with nothing left over. No matter what dreams I wanted to get into, I'd read a book or two, maybe even do a course, and never apply any of it, to be honest. And it would sink in a little bit, and I always get a little bit better. And to be honest, I was relatively successful doing that, but it never changed the course of my life. It's just a little better every day, which is a big key to success. But if you really want to go after something big, your dreams, you're not going to get there just 1% every day. You actually got to change your focus and change your self-belief. And the other big thing was I was on my own. Like I said, it was socially awkward. I thought, I was weird. I didn't want to talk to anybody around me. I didn't want to admit that I was scared or struggling or anything like that. And I was jealous of those that had what I wanted. So I wasn't going to go up there and ask them how they did it and just befriend them because I didn't think I was good enough. Why would they talk to me? I'm just this person who's not worth that. That's for them, not for me. I wanted all that, but I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. I was on my own, and I didn't know how to get it, to be honest. And then that's when it happened, the big shift. Big thing is I hit rock bottom. That's what happened. I had a super hard breakup, and it just ruined my self-worth and just ruined me. It was very hard, let's just say that. I had a bad business deal. I actually branched out, took a risk for the first time in a long, long time, and got into real estate. And right after I bought my first investment property, 2 days after I bought it, my business partner pulled out of the deal and left me in a deal where I couldn't afford to finish it, and I didn't have the skills to finish it either. I knew nothing about hiring contractors, nothing about construction, and I was super screwed. And I used the funds for my family that had built over time to fund this project, and I felt so hopeless, like I'd screwed up my entire future. I had no security, nothing to lay back on, everything was at risk, and I was completely alone. It was just me. I had to figure my own way out of it. I had to do it all myself. I had no support, and it felt horrible. I was literally rock bottom. And to be honest, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It led me to find my first mentorship program. So I'd done books, I'd done a couple courses, and like I said, I applied a little bit and stuff like that. But I found my first mentorship course, and first mentorship program, and it completely changed my life. Like, the difference between a book and a course and mentorship is you find somebody who has been where you are now and who is where you want to be in the future. And it changed everything for me. Like, first, I had somebody who understood me, which was just incredible. And then I had somebody who had what I wanted and knew how to get there, and somebody that was completely invested in me and my success, that wanted to help me get through that. And just that hand on the back of my shoulder changed everything for me. Another big thing is I joined this with a group of other men. When I got there, I should say, when I got there was a group of other men that had the exact same struggles as I did. So remember when I said I felt weird and all alone, and everybody, nobody would understand me, and if I actually said what was on my mind, people would think I'm strange, all that? It wasn't true. Everybody was dealing with the same struggle. And it was so relieving to get in there and be like, these are my fears. I'm so scared of failing. But also, if I succeed, everybody's going to expect that level from me. And that scares me too. And I get in a room with guys, and when I said that out loud, they're like, yeah, me too. I've been waiting to say that. I feel that way, but I didn't want to say it out loud. I didn't want people here to think I was weird. And I was like, really? What other fears do you have? What other fears of mine do you have, and vice versa? And it felt so good to get around this group of men that had the exact same struggle as me, and we're working in the same direction, and had somebody who could help us get there. It's just so nice to have a little bit of support, especially as men. because as men we're taught to suppress our feelings, rub some dirt in it, just get it done, grow stronger. That's the way you do it, and that is true. There's a lot of benefit to tenacity and picking yourself up, but man, it can feel so hard when you're all alone and you can't see a way out and there's nobody to support you. That is when it feels super hard, and just a little hand can make all the difference. And here's the thing, that's how I was. I went through this mentorship program. I learned a ton of practices and how to accept and believe in myself, and it completely changed the direction of my life. Now I'm bold. Now I'm seen. I'm not scared to hide in the shadows. I'm not scared and hiding in the shadows. I'm not scared to be in the spotlight anymore. I can stand right in the middle of the spotlight and be completely comfortable with everybody around me. I'm proud of myself for like the first time in my life. I'm daring. I go after the big challenges, the big things I actually wanted my entire life, but I didn't feel like I was worthy enough to go after. I'll give you guys an example. After I went through this mentorship program and I have been working on myself, I learned how to accept myself, how to love myself, how to trust myself. I learned all the different tools and techniques around this, how to shift my identity and actually change my self-identity to the man I always wanted to be. And I remember always being in Vegas and, like I said, living on the sideline and being jealous of the people in the middle of the room. And I remember a moment I was in a club in Vegas that's an outdoor pool club, which is exactly my vibe. Tropical environment everywhere. It's got 2 pools with a bridge in between. And I remember standing on that bridge and being in the middle of the spotlight and feeling completely comfortable and just having the best time of my life for me. And it was just an incredible transformation. I remember how many years I had saw other people doing that sort of thing and being super jealous and secretly wishing that could be me, to actually being that guy. And I gotta tell you, that kind of sums up my whole transformation piece, going from wanting to be that person, hiding in the shadows, to actually being that person and learning that I had everything I needed inside of me the entire time, which is just nuts. And I really stumbled upon a secret. The thing I really didn't understand was it's not actually about the achievements, because I was always going after, I wasn't super like, like materialistic, right? I didn't want like the fanciest car. I didn't want like a plane in a giant house, but that's actually because I felt like I didn't deserve it. But I did focus on my achievements. I only loved myself when I was winning. I only loved myself when I was getting to the next level. I only loved myself when I got a new car or broke a record or whatever. And I learned it's not about the achievements, and it's not even about doing the things that will get you to the achievements. It's not even about doing the right things every day, because that's super important. But if you can still do that and still not have the secret to success inside of you. It's really about becoming the man that you were born to be, or that you always knew you could be. That's what it's all about. Because when we were little kids, we wanted to be this big, bold guy. We had all these big dreams. We wanted to be everything we could possibly be. We were just about exploration and figuring stuff out and what's the new challenge. And for me, when I remember my little self, I was just roaring all the time like a little tiger, like, rah, what's the next challenge? I want to take it all on. And then what happens? We go through a couple of experiences, usually in our formative years, and especially like middle school, right? It's like the worst. And something bad will happen. Maybe kids make fun of you or laugh at you, or you ask a girl out and she completely turns you down in front of everybody, and they make fun of you. And then it just gets reinforced a couple more times, and it just gets sunk into our head, into our subconscious mind. And it just tells us a story that we're not good enough. Women aren't attracted to me. I'm not handsome. I'm not smart enough. I can't go after my dreams. That's for other people, not for me. And it just limits ourselves. That's why they call it self-limiting beliefs. And these beliefs just start stacking on top of each other until it shrinks us down from all the possibilities of what we could be into this small little box of playing it safe and just being, being a small version that doesn't get noticed, that hopefully they don't pick on me. Hopefully they don't ask me that question in the middle of a work meeting so I don't have to tell everybody what I think or get put on the spot, or God forbid I have to go present in front of 300 people or anything like that. Like we get into this little box of being unseen, and I call it meek, like just small, and please don't pick on me, and let me just live my simple little life and get through it, And that is not what life's all about. Life's all about being big and bold and living all of it, experiencing all of it. And the real key, the real secret, the reason I do what I do and the reason I record this video is that you have everything you need inside of you. Like literally you do. I know you hear that all the time and it's like, yeah, that's all good chat or whatever, and it's not true. It is true. The thing is, you've just been hiding who you are because you're ashamed of things in your past. Maybe people shamed you, maybe you shamed yourself, I don't know. But that shame causes you to feel guilty about things you did incorrectly, mistakes you made, people you hurt, people you let down, maybe you let down yourself, you know? And then that leads to fears. Now you're afraid you're going to do it again. You're afraid you're not good enough for the people around you. You're afraid if you're given another opportunity, you'll fail. Or you might even succeed once, and then everybody will expect you to succeed every time. And that's a lot of pressure. And you feel like you can't handle it, like you're not enough. And I want to tell you, it's untrue. It's just self-limiting beliefs. They do limit us. They limit us, and they want us to be small because it's safe. It's safe to be on the couch watching Netflix eating popcorn. It's not safe. Well, our back of our head says it's not safe to be big, go take chances. Jump on that mountain bike, go down the mountain. Start that business you've been wanting to start forever. Go after that super hot woman that you see walking down the street and just tell her that you think she's beautiful. That's what I did. And now she's my fiance. And I just want to tell you, I put this together because it's so impactful. Let's say it this way. There's a whole other life on the other self of true inner confidence, unshakable inner confidence, life-changing inner confidence. There's a whole nother world out there, a different world where there's no limitations, where you literally can do whatever you want to do as long as you just believe in yourself and are willing to follow your path and do the work. And that's all it really takes. Just wanted to check my notes. Like I said, kind of a long video, so I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I'm just going to close them right now because I just want to speak from the heart for a second. Big thing is, I changed the entire direction of my life in 90 days. What that means is I was on a path here, and I was going to be smaller and smaller. I was working on myself financially, but that's it. My relationships were getting worse and worse. My relationship with my family was getting worse. I was getting more and more angry because of the things I didn't do, because of the promises I didn't keep to myself, because I just kept feeling like I was more and more of a failure and worth less and less inside. And that's the same for all my life. I was becoming more and more of a hermit, working from home in my own house and not interacting socially and not growing, that's for sure. I was going the wrong way. I was becoming a hermit, even more introverted, shutting the world away, becoming more angry, even losing the relationships I already had and definitely not getting new ones, and not going after my dreams anymore. I was lucky to take that one vacation a year, you know what I mean? And stuck in that grind. And I completely changed the course of my life, completely different. Now, everything is different. Once I got true inner confidence and I got the tools, the skills, the mindset, the skill set, and the habits to actually put that in practice and to change my self-identity and to increase my self-worth and see myself for the man I actually was, it changed everything completely. Now I'm not scared to be seen in public, to shine brightly, and to fail in public, which is really huge. Because if you can fail in public and you're not scared to be seen, and you can actually say what's on your mind all the time, you're just being your true self all the time. And that's when your energy is aligned and it's focused and it's so powerful. I like to say I used to be 16 different people because I didn't think I was good enough, so I used to embellish all my stories all the time to make myself seem more important because I thought who I actually wasn't good enough. And so I had 16 different stories that I had to maintain, and it was sucking all my energy. And when I became radically honest and just started speaking the exact truth all the time and just being 100% authentic me, collapsed all those identities into one, and my power just took off. And that's true for relationships. I'm engaged to the woman of my dreams, like literally off my vision board. Celebrity chef, model, on billboards in Times Square, like legit my dream woman. From my dreams, everything I could ever hope for. My relationship with my family, with my daughter, with my mother, with all the extended family is so much better than it used to be because I'm finally my authentic self and they can actually see me, which allows me to see them. My finances, better than they've ever been. And I'd been waiting years, like tens of years to do something take a risk, start that business I wanted to do, get into investing in all kinds of different ways. In 1 year, completely changed my financial landscape forever, for good. We're talking, what do they call it? Generational wealth. And I never got into it because I was too worried, too scared for failing, too worried about the risks instead of the opportunities. And that translates to everything in my life. Right now, I live in my favorite location in the world. I wake up every morning, go for a walk to the beach, go swim in the ocean, and watch the sunrise. Just incredible. No more winters for me. I'm about to marry the woman of my dreams. My relationships are better with my friends and family. My financial net worth is higher than it's ever been and just keeps getting better and better. My identity and how I feel inside is the best it's ever been. And I can see others for the first time because I'm not worried about myself. I'm not self-conscious. I'm not thinking about how I'm showing up in every conversation instead of focusing on the person across from me, which if you're a guy, that not only is that so relieving for you, but it lets you connect with others. And when you think of others, not just everybody, but specifically that woman you're really attracted to. And she'll finally be able to see you and you'll be able to see her, which is just incredible. And to be honest, like I said, when I discovered this was possible, when I had this big transformation, I realized what is possible for everyone out there. And I had to tell as many people as possible. And that's why I got into this business, because I used to improve businesses for a living over and over, go to businesses that were struggling, get them to where they wanted to be, and move on to the next one. And that was really rewarding and impactful. And then I helped a guy uncover shame that he's had around women since he was 9 years old, the day before his dad left his family. And when I was able to help him let out all that anger, all that shame, all that fear, all that sadness that he'd been carrying around for 30 years that had kept him from talking to the women he was actually attracted to, when he let that out and brought everybody to tears in the room, it's like, that's it. I'm not going back to my old job, started my own coaching practice, and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna help build men up from where they are to where they wanna be over and over and over. And it's the most impactful thing I've ever done with my life. And I just love it. So that's my story. I wanted to share it with you because, like I said, there's a whole nother life on the other side of true self-confidence. And I want as many men to hear this as possible. If you're a lady out there, currently I only coach men, but if you know any men out there that need a hand with that, you let them know and point them to this video. If you're a guy out there, I gotta tell you, man, everything is possible for you. All you need is a hand. All you need is a hand from somebody who's been there where you are now and where you want to be. And that's about it. And it feels so relieving for that. So that's my story. I'm going to put some links below, links to my website, links to my Instagram, and maybe a lead magnet or two for all the work we do in there, just to give you a taste of kind of what we do and what's possible. Because if you can hear one thing, the whole reason I recorded this video is I just want to tell you, man, like, you're not alone. Whatever your struggle is, there's other people out there that are struggling with the same thing. And I can see you, like, let's chat. That's it. I can see people, that's my gift. I can see people, what makes them special, what they're struggling with. And I just want to help as many people as possible as I possibly can. So click the link, check out more, find it out. If you found this helpful, subscribe, like it, all that good stuff. Because every time you do, it helps me get this message out to more men that need a hand as well. So a bunch of other videos coming up. Thanks for listening. Cheers.